Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. Naoya Inoue, monster, currently the undisputed super bantamweight champion. He has signed a near to it $20 million deal with our friend the Excellent Turki Alalshikh as an ambassador for RIYADH season and Saudi Arabia. And what, 20 million, just under $20 million is probably about 16 million quid. So a lot of money for a super bantam. Thoroughly deserves it. You can make an argument that Inoue is the best fighter in the world currently, pound for pound. I wouldn't argue too strongly. Usyk maybe, yeah. Crawford's great, but whichever way you slice and dice it, he's certainly one of the top three without question. And some serious money coming his way, and deservedly so. Now, he has a fight before the end of the year. It's actually on Christmas Eve against Sam Goodman of Australia, and he's expected to come through that. And Turki Alalshikh is not averse to a little bit of hyperbole, is he? Because he says, this is the quote anyway, Inoue is the best and strongest boxer of all time. I hope he means in Japan, because you can certainly make a case for that. I mean, I love fighting Harada, but whichever way you slice and dice it, I mean, I think Inoue probably is going to be recognised as Japan's greatest fighter ever, if he isn't already. I don't like judging people historically until their careers are over, but come on, man. I mean, the man's a fistic genius. Turki goes on to say he has a great interest in Japan and the Japanese market. Of course he does. He's a national hero. I hope he will be a good and important ambassador for Saudi Arabia and Riyadh season. Now, there's the key word, ambassador. You would think, of course, he's going to fight in Riyadh. He's going to go over to Saudi Arabia. And there have been previous comments from Bob Arum, who is Inoue's promoter, that don't quite run parallel to what Turki's getting at. And when asked, Inoue was quite not ambiguous, but ever so slightly guarded. I mean, no, maybe that's unfair. Maybe he just doesn't know what's going to happen in 2025 yet. He's got to get through Goodman, don't forget, and he's expected to, but you never know in boxing. You just never know. But Inoue said, I think it's all about time, and he's talking about fights in 2025. This year's fight against Goodman has been decided, meaning it's contracted, it's going to go ahead. I don't know what will happen next year. If I can fight in Saudi Arabia, I'll just live up to those expectations. I think I'll just perform the way I do in Japan. No problem. You line them up, I'll knock them over. It's that sort of mentality, isn't it? Now, one possible headliner in Riyadh would be, a 2025 fight, obviously, would be against Murodjon Akhmadaliev, who has been calling out Inoue. Akhmadaliev lost to Marlon Tapales, I believe, and Tapales got the fight in Inoue and got stopped late. And that was for all the marbles at Super Bantam. But Akhmadaliev regards that as an aberration. He wants a piece of Inoue. Be careful what you wish for. No doubt Akhmadaliev can fight. I mean, that could be in the United States, or it could be in Japan again. But I think that's going to, I would guess that if Inoue stays at Super Bantam, and I think he will for about another year, maybe 2026 he'll move up. But 2025 he'll stay at Super Bantam, at least for most of the year. That's probably the fight they're going to soup up, try to whip up the interest in that fight as a potential super fight. And it is a good one. It is a good one. I mean, don't forget, what is Inoue now? 31, I think. So, is featherweight his ceiling? I would say so. Super feather at the very most. Lightweight's too big. I mean, some people are saying, Inoue should go in there with Tank or Shakur Stevens. This is complete bullshit. I mean, this is like, Crawford against Canelo. It's just a stupid gimmick fight. Two names slapped together with absolutely no intelligence, no thought going into it. There are weight divisions for a reason, as the saying goes. And I find it all a bit, infantile, really, all this crap that's talked about, throwing Inoue in with people who are... And bear in mind, look, Inoue started at light flyweight. Now, I know what you're going to say. Some of you can say, well, Pacquiao did too, and he ended up at 154. Yeah, but Pacquiao... There were always suspicions about how he put on that weight, if you know what I mean. And yeah, and I'll say no more about that. But I in the case of Inoue, I don't really see, because of his body structure, the way he looks, you know, the condition of his skin and everything, knowing what I do about PEDs, which is, and I'm not an expert, don't get me wrong, but I don't think he's on anything. I could be wrong, of course. I could be wrong. You know, we all know PEDs are rife in boxing. Yeah, I think this is a different case than Pacquiao, who, I mean, I'd put a gun to my head and I'd swear blind he was on something for quite a chunk of his career, certainly the high points of his career. I'm thinking of the Cotto fight in particular. But anyway, getting back to Inoue, yeah, light flyweight he started off at. If he finishes at featherweight, let's say he becomes undisputed at featherweight, that's 3 divisions in a row. I mean, what more do you want? You know, the guy's a brilliant fighter. And only 28-0 when you consider what he has achieved. You know, belts at light fly, super fly, jumped over the flyweight division, 2 undisputed divisions. Yeah, come on, man. You know. But, you know, Inoue, the knock against Inoue, I don't think it is a genuine knock, but a lot of people have said, well, he never leaves Japan. Yes, he does. In 2021, he fought in the United States. That was one occasion. He's fought in Scotland. God, I wish I'd gone there to see him. That was a blast out a few years back. He has fought in other countries. And by the way, if he's earned the right to go where he wants to go. Now, I'm all in favour of people being world champions, you know, doing a little tour like Muhammad Ali did. You know, he fought here, there, you know, Zaire or the Congo as it was then, is now, and, you know, Philippines, Britain a few times, Ireland, Germany. You know, Muhammad Ali was a true world champion. And to be honest with you, when you consider Inoue's, what he's achieved, and the fact that he is the age he is, how he's dominated and destroyed other very, very good fighters. You know, we've now got to the point where we're talking about Inoue as a potential, you know, certainly a Hall of Famer, but one of the absolute top echelon fighters. So it's not too unfair to hold him to those highest possible standards. And I have no objection to him, you know, staying in Japan, but I think it would be even greater. It would make his legacy even greater if he did, you know, fight in Saudi, go back to the United States to fight, maybe fight in Mexico, maybe, you know, come to Europe and fight, you know, to move around the world would be great. But I suppose I'm being a bit pernickety, really, you know, to be honest with you. But, hey, I love the guy. I love Inoue. I think he's just amazing to watch. Love watching him. If you said to me he's the greatest fighter in the world, I would say I wouldn't give you too much of an argument. And I wouldn't give you too much of an argument if you said he's one of the most exciting fighters in the world, because he is. His style, his technique, his poise, determination, punching power, footwork, the way he never loses his shape, the fact that he was knocked down against Neary, got straight back up and knocked the other guy over. I mean, the guy's a pure fighter with an absolute killer instinct and quite savage. He calls himself Monster. That's a pretty good nickname, isn't it? Anyway, what do you think about this? Inoue, nearly $20 million he's making out of being the ambassador for Saudi and Riyadh season. Oh dear, oh dear. They're taking over, aren't they, the Saudis? Old Excellent Turki, he's doing his thing. But anyway, let me know what you think. What do you think of Inoue? I think I can guess what most of you are going to say. What about this signing? Would you like to see him fight in your country? Would you go see it? Oh, bloody hell, I would. There are very, very, very few fighters I would pay through the nose to see, but he's one of them. Definitely one of them. Let me know your comments below. Thanks very much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new, and if you could hit the like button, that'd be great too. I always appreciate your time. Thank you very, very much, and bye for now.